You're about to witness a seismic event.
Daddy, can you put on Skitbags radio?
No, go to bed.
Okay, yeah, that's the promo.
Yeah. Welcome to Skitbags Radio. I'm Mr. C, the Enforcer, a.k.a. Poppy Carlo, at Nas1 Instagram, Papicarlo. And I got the four, the Magic Four, and Fantastic Four in the house where Thanos has banished us. I'm here with the men to my right, to my left, and on the deep end, the Sailor God. And I got my man starting it off on the stop, the keyboard kicker, Mr. Editor Kicker. Man, tell him what your master plan is.
Cheer. Yeah. It's Neil, the life of Neil the Great. You know what it is.
Right. Down the end.
Yo, what up? This is Sailor Dev, at Sailor_Dev on Insta. And to my right, we're joined by another very illustrious guest. Yo, T-Money.
T-Money, a.k.a. Thomas McDaniel.
There you go.
A.k.a. Maura Lurphy on my shitty Instagram.
Yeah, there we go.
Laura Murphy with the L and the M swap.
Oh shit! So you like some other kind of Tomb Raider? Or are you like Laura Cross Tomb Raider cousin, which I never got the last name?
Exactly.
Same first
dude. I like me some Tomb Raider.
Oh, it's the best. And I like the reboot.
Did you?
Yeah, I like it because it
Hold on,
was kind of like the
this most
origination
recent
story.
joint?
Yeah, like it's the origination story because they never really fully explained Angela.
Yeah, because in the first one, she's just like rich.
Bootleg, or you went to the theater to see this?
No, there was like was it Netflix or something? I got one or
Oh no! Then time out. There's a new one that just came out. That's not on Netflix yet.
I saw something that I didn't go to the goddamn movie theaters to see. It was either on Netflix or
Was it
something
Angelina
else.
Jolie as Tomb Raider?
No, it's this new bitch. It's this new broad.
Was it
Yeah,
Alicia Vikander?
there's a new Tomb Raider.
I know. I definitely know that, but I just.
Oh,
just
you
didn't
know how I saw it?
I
I took the airplane home to motherfucking Philly, and they got that fucking.
There we
app
go.
where
All
you
right,
watch
there we
the
go.
movies on
I
the
know
app.
Carl
That's
don't
what
be
it
going
is.
to the new movies like that.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, there we go. Yo, dude, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Shit, fire.
Was it?
I like going.
It's the origination stories, though.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah.
But I love being on flights. That's why I catch up on some random movies that I kind of wouldn't watch normally. Like, cause there's a different level of movie. There's a movie I'm gonna see in the theater. I'm gonna go and see that shit, right?
Yeah.
There's the movie that I'm gonna rent. You know,
Right.
I'll wait for it to come out. I'll never see the movie and wait for it to. I'm never in that mode. I'm gonna wait for it to come out. But there's that movie, you know. Then there's the movie that you'll run into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I'll watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's the airplane movie. It's the
airplane
movie because you know how you know it's an airplane movie because you would have seen it already.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
if you really liked it,
Yeah.
right? It's that movie you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, guess what
You
my
know what I mean?
airplane
That's the airplane
my
movie.
airplane movie I tried to watch was
What was it,
Black Panther.
dude?
You know, I never watched it.
Did you watch it?
I watched it after 15 minutes. For some reason now, mind you, I was killing these niggas the whole time I was on the plane. So I hit them for like 18, 20 movies, right? So I didn't expect Black Panther to be on. So I'm like number 17. Like, I'm killing these niggas. Like, yo, it's freebie. You fucked up. You done fucked up, nigga.
Oh, you watching 17 movies?
Dude, then, well, because
He
I
watches 15 minutes of each movie. Then you go,
Yeah, well, I'm exaggerating. Of course, I actually watched 5 movies over the
Okay,
course.
that's
But
a lot of
you
movies,
realize
though.
I
So you
flew for like 24. I flew for like 20 total hours forward and back. You know what
All
I
right,
mean?
so you just knocking out movies. Bam,
I'm just
bam,
knocking
bam,
out movies.
bam,
So
bam.
around
All right.
movie 3, 4, 5, to be realistic about it, I'll get to that one, and then all of a sudden, right in the middle of Black Panther, the shit stops working, and every movie I tried to watch after that for the next like 3 hours of my trip did not work. Like I used my bandwidth.
Wait, so did you see the end of Black Panther?
No, only saw the beginning when shit was just jumping off and it was just robbing places and Killmonger was still in America talking
You know
shit
what?
to people.
That same shit happened to me in
I'm gonna be
Interstellar.
honest. I was watching it. It didn't look that good.
I mean, it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't know. It looked kind of cheesy.
I mean, it's just
But
another.
It was like CG. It was so much CGI. It was like fucking Black China.
You know what it felt like when I was watching it?
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching like a sporting event. But I was rooting for the home team, and we were in the home stadium. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Well, I'm sure
like
it's
like the
good,
movie
you
couldn't
know.
really do no wrong. You know what I mean? It was like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
It was a great movie.
No, but it was no.
It was like you know what it reminded
It's
me
still
of?
a great movie.
It was like Avatar for black people. It was like our first experience of being in like some beautiful, well 3D next level, like you know what I mean?
I'm not saying no. It's still, I think it's still
Black Avatar.
It's still a great movie, I believe. But I think we like glossed over a lot of the things that were wrong with it because it's like the home stadium. You know what I mean? It's like we don't mind that shit. But if we were on the road and you're watching that shit, we'd be like, oh, call that. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
You remember a lot of the complaints about Spider-Man? Some of the later ones, people had a lot of complaints about the action scenes, a little CGI, a little organic, even with the Venom ones. I heard a little grumbling from a couple of junkies.
A little too much fakeness.
It's a little too dope.
Anymore,
even G.I. Joe was kind of like, you're a little.
Don't even bring up G.I. Joe. Don't even do it.
I know they fucked it.
Don't even do it.
It's a little too dope.
I didn't even know that was Channing Tatum until like 2 days ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
And Bruce Willis at the end. Oh my god.
Well, you gotta love Bruce. He
no, but it's like, yo, you know how epic they could have made G.I. Can you?
They spent all their money on the Bruce Willis cameo.
They skipped the whole snake aspect with them actually having that snake aspect to him being kind of more fucked up. They just kind of made him like bad guys.
Imagine you put a fucking Christopher Nolan and G.I. Joe together, like, and come.
It's a completely different movie.
Come on, like, don't even.
I want whoever made Saving Private Ryan to make G.I. Joe.
That's Steven Spielberg there, buddy.
Well, let's drag. He had it just G.I. Joe. Because remember, hey, G.I. Joe was from
that guy was good.
That dude, but he was.
Carl, we're supposed to be a film company and a show about fucking entertainment industry over here.
Whoever made that shit, he's good.
You know that dude who made E.T.? That dude's gonna be something one day.
I'll co-sign that. Steven Spielberg is good.
Another movie that's coming out is have you seen the trailer for Bumblebee?
Yes.
I think I saw the trailer for it. Like his original.
Devin, you have not seen this?
I think
all right,
they're trying to fix it or something.
No, check this out. Okay, you know how fucking Transformers have been fucked over because fucking Michael Bay, his fucking nonsense.
So this is all about Bumblebee.
Yeah, so it's like the Transformers
character
origin story. Yeah. Correct. Yes. Yeah. But there's no Michael Bay. Yeah. He's out.
Hooray!
Yeah. So this is like some.
They might clean up.
I'm going back to Carl's reference. Some other dude. There's some other dude that's doing it, and I feel confident in this shit. It's just, and instead of it being like a world of Transformers, it's just one. It's just Bumblebee.
So do you guys know what the true story of Bumblebee is supposed to be for Transformers?
Tell us.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, basically,
here we go.
When the Transformers, because really they was an alien race running from getting their ass kicked on their planet. They was running to look for more energy. They got their ass whooping turned on. They crashed on Earth in a mountain. 10, 15,000 million years. They wake up later because they crashed when the dinosaurs were there and woke up a million years later. Anyway, Bumblebee was the first, like, one of the small ones that came out, and they all got rebuilt by the actual spaceship. The spaceship was on some AI ship, rebuilt them. Anyway, they come back, they get back alive, and they start stepping out. Well, Bumblebee happens to one day they go by some construction niggas, and they was playing low. We don't let the humans see us, don't let the humans see us, don't let the humans see us. And there's a construction accident. And one day Scott and his dad were in construction together. So the little kid, whoever, isn't that his name? The boy's name, whatever the boy's name is, and the dad were motherfucking construction people. And he was just, me and my pop working on construction, and then his dad almost died. So Bumblebee and I'm just like, fuck it, I gotta do something. So he ran over there and he saved the dad, and then for a while the dad didn't know. He saved the son, actually. I'm sorry. And then the dad and him and the dad was alone, and then they found out about it. And then after a while, he starts coming to kick it with him, and he actually became his protector. That's why in the movie he's the protector of the boy like that. They're best friends and whatnot. And actually, Bumblebee talks like a normal person. He's not a fucking Junkticon talking like TV.
Does he have a normal voice in this movie?
Yeah, in real life, he was a person, but in a movie they turned him into a Junkticon, which are the guys who watch TV because they live on another planet, and everything they watch is TV. And they say, hey, we talk TV. And they put that on him for some reason. They just
hold on. So basically, the way that Bumblebee talks is based off of how he hears on TV.
It's based off of aliens that live on another planet that's made of junk. It's like the trash can of the universe where all the junk goes.
I thought he lost his voice in a battle or something.
They say that was their excuse to transition.
That was Michael Bay's excuse
because they wanted that Junkticon, because that's what made the Junkticons dope. And Transformers the movie was the fact that we talk TV. He's like, oh yes, we'll be back, and this do evening news and this and that. But it was funny. But they were like almost like an African tribe to talk like that, but they're of junk, and they could transform into anything and put themselves back together after they get broke. Junkticons was crazy. Watch Transformers the movie. Anyway,
the animated movie.
Yeah, but anyway, Bumblebee was the protector. He was best friends with the kid, and that's what this movie is pretty much about. Is kind of like that relationship of how, because they used to go off like Optimus Prime and them used to stay around and do like major shit. Bumblebee was kind of like the scout. He was kind of like the dude that could go out. He had the low-key car. He actually looked like an actual old Volkswagen and not no fly shit. And you couldn't change anytime you want. You was made the way you was made. And they actually had to take you in and do surgery to change you as a Transformer. You couldn't just
so he
change
purposely looked like a beat-up Volkswagen.
Yes. What happened was that the AI plane sent out a motherfucking drone, right? Yeah, a drone. Sent out a drone and went to look all around, like look at all the cities. It took pictures of everything. Then it came back and said, okay, cool. Bam. Then pulled up all their dead bodies, slapped them on the joint. Nah, I'm gonna make you this. I'm gonna make you a 16-wheeler. I'm gonna make you this. So they made a move, whatever was the age of the year of where they made it, so they fit in when they would go outside and transform and whatnot. Right. And that's how they did it, you know what I mean? And if you had to get changed, like Bumblebee eventually gets changed to what's called Gold Bug, where he gets upgraded to a sports version of the Volkswagen, where he actually gets fucked up. He almost dies.
Hold on, so that happens in the comics, that he gets upgraded to a better vehicle?
Yeah, because he gets fucked up and almost dies.
What did they look like before the automobile was invented?
They look like a spacey version of Transformers. So instead of like looking like I said, they mashed everything. So they actually have their own planet and whatnot, and that they're actually from is the Decepticons and the Autobots have their own planet.
They just look like robots?
Yeah.
Is this all explained in the Transformers movie, the animated movie?
The real one, they show inklings of it, but you kind of go in this. But yes, they do. In the real movie, just watch the movie and that explain 80% of this off the fly.
But not the Michael Bay joint.
No, Michael Bay is garbage. It's garbage. Like the Quintessons, which are the egg niggas that spin around and got multiple heads, are the original makers of Transformer robots.
Never heard of that in my life.
Yes, so you know that cube? That cube is nothing. It's actually these aliens that are shaped like an egg that float off the ground. They got tentacles and they got 3 heads that spin around: a death face, a happy face, and a judgment face. And they sit up judging people all day. And they got these things called motherfucking Sharkticons that are like the minions that protect their planet. They got this planet that they have, and they're the creators.
Is this in the movie?
Street Sharks.
Yeah, this is in the Transformers cartoon movie. They face them because the Transformers crash on their planet. Now nobody knows when they crash on the planet that these guys are actually the inventors of all Transformers, but they actually are. And these 3 motherfuckers, and then they made all the Transformers. So then they spread out to the galaxy. So they kind of spawned this race of robots and kind of went off. They almost like God, basically, and whatnot. So the Transformers crash, and they have these dudes on the planet and all this kind of shit. And yeah, anyway, Bumblebee, he's his protector. He's his homeboy, and then he gets upgraded. And you got to do surgery, and usually it's after somebody almost dies, basically, and they change your body. But you said how they looked on their planet. It was a space planet, so everybody was shaped, instead of shaped like an F-14, it's shaped like some weird space thing with this super aerodynamic, like a alien ship when they transform and all that stuff.
It was just like based on their natural environment.
Yeah, it was based on their natural environment.
And this is all in the first movie, the animated
I believe this is on Netflix, isn't it?
Or is this the 1980s?
The entire story you just heard from
show?
Beginning to end, the entire story you heard from beginning to end is me watching from the very first beginning of the cartoon to seeing the movie. The movie was nothing but a culmination of 10 years of the cartoon.
I got you, yeah. But where can we find this archive?
Transformers the movie might be right on fucking YouTube. Real shit. Easy. And
they're not profiting off that movie.
Definitely Netflix. And matter of fact, the old shows are probably definitely all over the place.
I can't go through that, but I can do
Saturday
90
morning
minutes.
cartoon is definitely on.
I told you on the crucial shit. Just watch Transformers, the original cartoon movie and everything. You see.
Well, I know you told me the crucial shit, but I want to watch this shit just to verify your shit.
Yeah. And then the Matrix was real that they had in theirs, which is like the power that collects all the knowledge. But once again, it's nothing to do with the box. It's actually the collected knowledge of all the previous leaders beforehand in there. And anytime you get in real trouble, you bust that bitch open when shit gets really sad and dark. Transformers.
Excellent. All right.
Carl, Mr. C. Anthony coming in hot with the fucking Transformers knowledge over here, bro.
Starring Haley Steinfeld.
Dude,
and
how
it
the
had
fuck
one of the
do
greatest
you know?
soundtracks of all time.
How the fuck how many hours of your life have you committed to studying Transformers?
Well, when I grew up, I was number one, I was a run of the litter, so I was a small guy in my crew. I was only 5'9", 110 pounds until 10th grade in high school.
But that's still tall.
And not when your homeboys are all 6 feet tall, 5'10", 6'1".
I shot up to like 6 feet in 8th grade, and I didn't grow another inch.
And I was sick. I used to have them surgeries. I used to be like a Michael Jackson kid. I had 4 surgeries.
So how does this relate to fucking Transformers?
Yeah. Anyway,
like,
I got distracted.
I swear you get off on so many tangents.
I got distracted. Anyway, I was a nerd. I was a Michael Jackson kid. I stayed in the house a lot, and I wasn't a street dude. My dad was a cop, and my mom was extra technician, middle class Philly. So that wasn't my thing. I wasn't into material things or nothing. So basically, I was home a lot, so I was into music, video games, TV, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So I used to watch a lot of cartoons and things like that, and I was into fantasy a lot. So I always like that, like Tom Cruise's first movie.
Yeah.
The one
It's
the
more
Legend
escapist.
joint, and
I
all
feel
that
like
stuff.
sci-fi is more escapist.
Yeah, and The Princess Bride and all those movies and The Labyrinth. And I was into all that. And all those movies had great soundtracks, you know what I mean? The real new music you never heard. And music I wouldn't hear living in an African-American home. You know, all I got was like Luther Vandross, Lou Rawls, and Mike Jackson. But, you know, I turn on The Labyrinth and I got David Bowie blasted at me. And then I turn on the Transformers and there's some rock and roll band like, The Transformers! And like people are dying like, die, Autobots! All that shit is hot, yo. Harder than anything Michael Bay ever pulled out his ass. I'll tell you that shit. Watch Transformers the movie. Fuck Michael Bay with a dildo. No Vaseline. Just
Me too.
The
Me
title
too.
of this clip is called Carl Fucking Hates Michael Bay's Transformers.
I hate it. Oh, they fucked up the Constructicons Devastator. They
I've
made
never
the
even heard of a
crawling worm.
Constructicon.
All right.
Oh my God, don't get me started.
I'm all Transformer
They were
now.
Voltron.
All right, here we go. All right,
Voltron?
new random topic. Okay.
Well, hold on. We wanted to talk a little bit. Hold on. Let's pump the brakes here on this train. I wanted to hear from Thomas a little bit and what we were talking or before the show about Movie Pass. Because that's relevant, right?
I think
Well, does anybody in here have a movie pass? First of all,
No.
other than me.
I should. Gabby, if she was here, she has one.
Gabby has one. Gabby is busy filming Hermione Granger in the Quarter Life Crisis, everyone. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
And keep killing it. But so I was going to get Movie Pass, but I didn't because I saw the way the company structured itself. So Movie Pass in the original was like $50 a month or some shit like that, right?
Never in a million years would I get that.
Right, exactly. When it first,
$50?
it was like $48 or something a month.
I thought it was
was Movie
$9.99.
Pass. No. And then they, after like 6 months of operation, they went and dropped the price down to $10 a month. So they were losing money as a company. So they had built up a bunch of capital, and then they decided to drop their price down. And then by doing that, everybody joined and became members. So that was their strategy for getting a bunch of subscribers. And then once they had enough subscribers, it would push them into the green instead of being in the red. Well, that didn't happen. They didn't get enough, and they were still losing enough money. So that's why they've had to raise it back again. Now, am I incorrect?
No, you are correct. Their strategy was just to hit that critical mass of subscriber base, kind of like Netflix, where, you know, they could just burn as much money every month as they want, and they'll still, you know, re-up at the end of the month with their subscriptions. But I mean, Movie Pass.
I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
How much does it cost right now?
I mean,
It was
it's
$10 still.
seeing
right?
movies is never going to be the same after Movie Pass.
it's-
Whether it actually dies or somehow survives this, it's not going to be the same anymore.
well, I have a question. How much is Movie Pass right now today?
$10.
And what are the restrictions?
They're raising the cost, though.
Well,
When? I've
no,
heard this for
it
years.
depends on
this
when
out.
you've signed up. So I'm gonna get I signed up for it when they first had that big press release last November for like $10 in unlimited movies. Like I'm gonna see every fucking movie that ever comes out.
Yeah.
And too many people did that. And they lost like $140 million in the past like 3 months.
Oh,
But mine is $9.95, and it's still going to be $9.95.
Grandfathered
I'm
in.
only going to be able to see 3 movies.
okay.
And then if I want to see it,
3 movies, what, a month or day?
a
or
month. And then if I want to see another one, they'll discount it by like $5 or $2 or something.
All right, how about if I started today then? What do I get?
Well, it depends on your plan, sir. You could get one that's like $15, and it's however fucking many. I have no clue. Or you could do the $10 one, and that's $3. I think that's the same. It's still going to be $10, but you can only see 3 movies.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I could do 3 movies once a week. It's fine and whatnot. I mean,
Once a month.
A month.
Well, 3 a
I
month.
can do that.
Though, right?
I used to see
3
one movie a
month,
week.
3 a
You know,
month.
I used to
that's
see
not
movies
bad.
on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm not
one a
gonna-
week almost. It's not bad, but the
But the movie's gonna
unlimited
be
was
fire.
really good and whatnot. But I guess I like the plan of the unlimited thing. But like you said, they couldn't survive on $10 a month.
It was a
of people
good
seeing it.
idea, and I mean,
But
it's
it sounds
definitely
like nothing has
changing.
changed.
The landscape of the
Well,
whole
they cut
of
down the movies.
movie theater distributors
but-
has completely changed now,
Yeah.
because now this business model is out there, and it wasn't out there before they did this. And now, AMC they're starting up their own shit so that they can maybe
I gotta say.
maybe hustle in on whatever Movie Pass just
But
created.
the other ones I've seen don't look as good at all. Like they seem like they're just limited to AMC.
Exactly.
Because
AMC is not even good at all. It's like it's like $15 or $20 a
It's
month.
$19.99 a month.
I wish. Well, Gabby was telling me about it the other day, and I wish she was here so she could like confirm
trying
what
to
I'm
step
saying.
it
But
up,
it's
I
just
think.
it's not as good as MoviePass. Like MoviePass is still a better deal.
Yeah.
And you can only go to AMC theaters.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I think
MoviePass you can go anywhere.
They fucked themselves on the original contract agreement they probably had with the theaters as far as price per film watch. Because I'm sure the movie theaters, they're not the type of dudes that's like, oh, they come once a month, it's cool. No, the movies are like, okay, every time they come see a movie, I want $3, cuz. You know what I mean? So that $10 after seeing 3, 4, 5 movies, that's probably why they cut it down to 3.
They were kind of.
They started having to pay the movies still for
But
all
the
the
thing
views.
is, the movie theaters don't get money from the movies. They get money from the concessions.
No, they get it from movie, but still, these are companies. These guys are greedy.
What?
They're going to double fist, bro.
I thought that the movie theaters only get revenue from
They
the concessions.
get the distributors.
Well, that's true. They buy the
as-
movies from the main guys. Yes,
Guys,
They'll get 50% of that box office. The distributors will, and some of that is going to go to the chains. Not all of it. It's just a percentage of that 50% is going to go to those movie theaters. So they make up most of it in concessions, obviously. But what MoviePass was doing is they were just paying for all the tickets, and that's why they were losing money.
Yeah, exactly.
So the movie theaters were experiencing a bump in traffic and a bump in profits by multiple percents. But they, for some reason, they just did not like the idea of MoviePass. They were like, this is fucking with our model. We're not really sure if this is even sustainable.
It's democratized. It's the Uber of movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like them being taxi cab. Do taxi cab drivers like Uber? Hell no. Fucked up the money. Can't charge as much. You know?
Because if you ask me, if I'm thinking from an outside perspective, it looks as if that it's like, hold on a second. Now these movies don't actually need the movie theater to sell movie tickets. You know what I mean? It's like eventually they're gonna cut us out. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like they don't need this front desk anymore for us to sell movies. There's eventually gonna be a time where they'll be able to cut us out completely.
Like
You
they'll
get
be
what I'm
like,
trying to say?
like
I mean, they could do that
Lionsgate.
right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to have clerks at those front desks anymore.
No, but I'm talking about just the movie theater itself. You know what?
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
Like,
like maybe somebody like Lionsgate makes their own theaters and Universal Studios makes their own theaters.
I
And
think that's the
AMC
step
and
that they're
stuff.
afraid of. They're afraid of that move.
And it's a logical step,
Yeah.
you know. But they got the little ticket counter things. I mean, once you got a vending machine like situation to serve people the food there, party's over.
But dude, imagine this though. Imagine if Warner Brothers made a movie theater chain and they could make the movie theater theater tickets a fourth of the price of, because since it's going straight
There's
to
no
them.
middleman.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And now we're talking seriousness.
Yeah,
You know,
democratizing the film.
I'm sure they've thought of it before, but they just don't want to do it because they know it would be so catastrophic to the whole model. And I don't think, I mean, they're walking such a tight, like, narrow path every year with all their tent poles. Like, oh fuck, if we lose $250 million on Spider-Man 4, like, fuck.
Well, maybe
Like,
that's
at the end, like, they don't really have enough capital to purchase a movie
I was going
theater
to say,
chain or
I think
start one.
overhead is the difference. See, that's the beautiful part about. That's what a middleman is. A middleman is a way for a major company to avoid having overhead and still getting a service done. Like when a rapper gets a distributor for his music, like when Rockefeller signs with Def Jam to get their shit out, they're avoiding the overhead of having to distribute things worldwide.
Right.
And that you know, that's why you contract out to be. So that's what they're doing. So until maybe technology catches up and AI kicks in and robotics should become, like, basically destroys American fucking jobs. I don't know. We better all learn some technology so we can fix these shits.
Thank God we work in entertainment.
Right. Thank God. Until they get the hologram thing done, like the Al Pacino movie, and they're already doing holograms on stage with Tupac. So we ain't.
Technology's
That's
just going
dope,
to
though.
enhance our craft.
Yeah.
I'll pay good money to see the Tupac hologram.
Yeah. So once they get to the level they can create their own hologram and make new people like a video game and make it a hologram and then make it personable and. There's already an Instagram model that's a 3D model hologram.
Oh, what?
Yes. On Instagram, there's somebody with millions of followers. It's a model, like it's a black one, it looks like an African, and it's a 3D motherfucking graphic. It's not motherfucking, but
It's
they
not a
take
real
pictures.
How
person.
No,
does
it's
she
not a person.
post?
Well, you know, the 3D, whoever the 3D model is. Dude, you ever seen that Al Pacino movie?
Celine.
Celine or whatever. He makes the one.
Oh,
he has
man, that's a deep.
No,
That's a deep
It's called like
Pacino cut.
Eleanor. It's called like
It's called-
Eleanor. Or
It's called Simone.
Simone.
Simone!
There it is. Yes, Sim 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
Simone. Yes, and that's exactly what they're doing with the
Holy
Instagram
shit,
model.
I've not thought of that movie in a decade.
Oh, that's the future of all entertainment.
And like the eyes,
and
like
everything.
the number one.
Yeah.
What did you think of Ready Player One? We were talking about Spielberg earlier, and we were talking about some 3D and
Steven
music.
Spielberg.
Earlier. Sorry. But yeah, remember we were kind of breaking it down. But what did you think?
Oh,
Thomas or anyone? I don't care. Anybody?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Oh, okay. You know what I think about it? I think it was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
It's a movie that you can, I have a little one. It's one that you can actually bring a kid into, and it's still not stupid.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is the master of making something very cheesy, super serious, and deep.
He invented that finesse. I feel
like I cannot. Like he does something.
He's the ultimate cheese finesser.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good. Low key, he does a little bit better than Disney. Yeah. I think. I think Disney. I think Disney.
Well, Disney is just straight up cheesy.
But
Spielberg makes it cinematically cheesy to where it's accepted. And you're like, wow, that's a great moment that I just watched.
Yeah,
but if it were a Disney movie, you'd be like, wow, this is for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's like perfect. Well, yeah, at least they did it again.
Is the star the kid from Kick-Ass with the curly head? Is the star the kid from Kick-Ass?
No, some new person.
He wasn't the big curly head kid with the glasses?
Because Steven Spielberg has another talent. His stories are so great.
I remember the movie, but I forgot who the star was. But the movie was a great concept because that is our real future. We are going to live in highly compact situations, either like Judge Dredd or this actual Player One situation.
Who's to say we're not in it now?
Oh, we are definitely. But wait until Trump finishes Ronald Reagan in this bitch, and then China and them come to collect their fucking 50% of the money we owe.
We'll all be living in
just gonna get real
shipping containers.
I just like the fact that they're able. There's not too many movies I can remember recently that it's like half animated, half CGI, half actual live action, and they mixed it in pretty well, and especially when you saw how they were first, like, you just saw like their AI characters, and then they made them in real life. You're like, you, let's fucking team up. I thought it was a really good movie. And
I thought
have you guys seen that Steven Spielberg documentary on HBO?
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. It's pretty good.
That guy was getting so much money from the studios when he was like 22.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? What was his first breakout?
Jaws.
No, it was something else before that.
No.
Jaws was his first big budget.
Was it like The Shining or something?
No, that's the thing.
Kubrick.
That's the thing,
Carl.
That's the thing.
I'll be honest with you. I have seen like probably all the classic movies, and I have no idea who made them.
I think all Spielberg's films are big budgets. That's why he has all that hate.
They've always
been big budgets because that's why they never. That's why they never take him seriously.
Also, he's a Silver Spoon director.
No, I don't want to say that.
Right, but
we're gonna get trashed so hard.
Yeah. It's a mix of both. It's almost like, oh shit, he has so much like backing with his ideas.
It's got to be
that he has
chance.
He has no artsy movies. He has no like independent films. Like he never got that opportunity to start off. Like all his movies are like, I think the closest one to an independent film is like a TV movie he made for ABC. And that's still big time because back then when TV movies came for ABC, it was a big deal. Remember back when you were younger, a TV movie was actual an event.
It's like he doesn't have what they would call his chops in the acting game. Like how Devin is like well trained. He's a stage actor. He can sing. He can do plays. He can motherfucking tap dance. He can do all kind of shit.
That's why
in 1971,
Ben Vereen over here, White Vereen over here.
He made a movie for $450.
But a lot of actors, that can, they're so-called big. They really don't get their respect until they actually go do Broadway or go do stuff like that, no matter how big they are.
Well, according to the internet, he was a TV director, and he did some TV in 69, 70, 71. Then he directed a movie called Duel in 1971 for $450,000. So, I mean, back in the 70s, that's like a couple million.
Yeah,
that's like maybe $5 million. So that's still a lot. But, I mean, for him.
But they were saying if you watch that's why he made movies like he made The Color Purple. He wanted to finally make a film that wasn't like something that was going to be like some epic like not CGI because back then I had no idea he directed that movie.
Maybe we could look at him like almost like the Michael Jordan of his era because he did kind of come up at an era when in Hollywood you could actually meet somebody somewhere and they'd make you famous or give you a chance at a young age on the win.
Didn't he come out of USC Film School?
Dude, they said
Yeah,
I mean, he's a big beneficiary of the school.
it's
I'm not
well,
sure if he went there.
because like that
I
just
think
is
he did-
networking right
Yeah,
there.
that's his network. I don't think that's his school.
Yeah.
I think he
but-
just started making movies in his living room.
No. I think they just met somebody. Probably they were cool. They had a good idea and whatnot. Because you remember, this is the 70s and stuff. You know how Jordan TV first came along right at the time he became a star. So that helped him go to this echelon of this world famous guy with the shoes. He was the first one to be able to do all that because television helped. And even these new media guys, the internet helps. Like with actors, just half the acting game is people that just got a lot of files and can't act.
And the
have no
document-
training. Like
True.
they have no
In
training.
the documentary, they said that he had to pass Universal Studios, like the theme park.
Yeah.
And he take the studio tour. He hopped off the tram and just ran into the lot.
Yeah, you could do shit like that back in the day.
And he pretended to be
You can
part
still
of the
do
set.
it.
And he
Yeah.
and
You
and
can
then
do it
he-
and get taken. Let my big ass try to hop off the chair and run this up. And
then-
number one, they're gonna yell gun for some reason. I don't know why.
You can totally hop off those tours.
I think they said that he also found an empty office and he set up an office there without them knowing
Yeah.
that it was
yeah,
his
yeah,
office.
you can't do
Fun,
that.
fun fact about the Universal lot is if you're wearing a suit, you can go literally anywhere you want.
No, I
And
can
that
believe
will be
that.
done.
You can go in every building. You can walk straight up to the Jaws animatronic shark on the tour line, and nobody's going to say a goddamn thing to you.
I agree.
Fun
Matter of
fact for anybody visiting Universal Studios anytime soon.
Well, actually, we're gonna take it. That's a life lessons from T people, and everybody in Skitbags Radio. Listen up. Mr. T just said something real important.
Mr.
Here about
T.
life. That's
Mr.
right.
T.
That's
That's so
right.
close to
That's
Mr.
right. It's Mr. T.
I'm seeing it
And
now
he
with all
was-
these chains on you right now.
Yeah. And
I
he
know.
was
I've been
telling
growing
you
this
guys
beard for a week.
that in
I
life,
pity the fool.
in life, if you act the role and you play the part and you look like what's supposed to be like, people will respond to you in kind.
Yeah.
It's weird. If
I've
you
done
don't,
it.
Yeah, you don't want to wait in line at a club. Walk up to the front, like, and tell the bouncer at your door, man, I don't feel like waiting in this line. This shit too long. This some bullshit. And half the time,
Half the time they bounce your ass out of
Half
it.
the
That's
time,
that's
either-
inaccurate.
no, half the time they'll
It's some
actually
bullshit.
No, here you go, I'm real shit.
Is
This is
it-
real
it
shit. This is
works?
coming from a guy that is not a rich man. Half the time they'll either want a $20 in their hand to get in, or they'll just look at you like, who you got with you? And then you could
Oh,
just
yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
I understand,
Yeah.
but
It works 70% of the time.
But like verbatim,
every time.
but like verbatim, be like, you know what? Fuck this bullshit.
Oh, no. The one time I really walked up to the motherfucking front door. I was in Arizona at this so-called big club. The motherfucking, it's something called about Dirty Martini. And when I was one of the biggest little high-end clubs in Arizona in Phoenix, I went there. It was 30 people in line. I'm there with my homie on a popping Saturday night. Everybody standing in line waiting. And I was drunk as fuck. And I literally just stumbled my fine-looking ass up to the front because we was dressed nice that night. And I had my homeboy, and they didn't know who was with me. I was by myself. I just walked up to the front. I said, dude, this line too long. I don't feel like waiting. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. And he looked at me, and he's like, well, who you with? And he's like, yeah, calm down. He just walked step to the side, let me right in. Didn't even look at our fucking IDs. Didn't ask for no
Oh
fucking
my
money.
God.
Nothing. And didn't even know who was with me. It's not like he seen me with girls and was like, oh, I'm going to let him with his kid. No, I could have had 27 thugs with me. You would have been too late, homie. You done pulled the thing to the side.
All right,
So
He said, calm down. I'll let you-
Backstory: in his early years, Carl looked much like Little John. So
Yeah.
this definitely could have went down.
What?
A way different.
He's like, who you with,
scenario.
John?
He's like, oh shit. Play cool. Who you with, man? Who you with?
Hey, that did happen in
Yeah.
Cancun one time. They thought I was Little John when I went to Cancun.
Yeah, dude.
And Carl-
Anytime you go to a foreign
And
country,
Carl must have been so hyped when he was like, yeah, come on. And guy was like, yes.
it's like when any tall person goes to China,
Oh,
and they
Michael
always
Jordan?
think he's
Michael Jordan?
and they always think he's some sort of celebrity or an actor.
Michael Jordan. They did that to me at the Clippers game one time. I'm waiting in line outside the Clippers game to go in, and I'm there with a couple of cats from my job, a couple of white people, so maybe that's why they thought I was Michael Jordan. So these Asian people with the cameras, the whole stereotypical shit, walk up there for 7 minutes. Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan? No, Michael Jordan. No, I'm working Carl. Michael Jordan? And I'm like, all right. And I turned around and I said, fine. I'm Michael Jordan. And they're like, oh, Michael Jordan! Take a picture! Took 7 pictures with him. Oh, Michael Jordan, thank you. Yeah, that happened outside the Clippers game like a year and a half.
That picture's framed in their living room.
it is.
Michael Jordan.
And now the real Michael Jordan's getting all this hate from them. Like, oh, you think you fucking slick? You ain't Michael Jordan. We met the real.
Speaking of Hollywood and this crazy town, we had a little Me Too theory popping around
All right,
here.
I got my theory right now, and you know,
I think-
Ladies and gentlemen, strap in, and the next is nor endorsed or condoned by
all right,
Skitbags
here
Radio.
we go.
I think whether or not you get Me Too,
Wait, no, our
no,
nominations.
no,
It can be
no,
our
no, 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 no,
nominations for who hasn't been.
Yeah. I was about to set up the whole thing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You know, see, like, so. God, Carl. Yeah, set up the fire
Carl's
lines.
way excited today.
I'll be the one that takes all the blame. But I'm making a list.
Carl
of
loves
people
social justice.
and of all like these guys that have been accused, like, aren't there a select number of actors or people that we're surprised have not been accused for Me
They
Too?
got-
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like what?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you tell me that fucking what's the homie Louis C.K. He got hit up.
It's
But-
because you know why? It's because he's ugly.
Yeah, and he's aggressive.
And you know who
Whoa.
can you
I like where this
can
is
you
going.
name anybody who's been hit pretty hard that's considered pretty attractive as a male?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, but he was a victim.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hold on a second.
You know who's never gonna
Sorry,
get
Terry.
you know who's never gonna get accused of anything? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
But see, I'm not surprised. 'Cause Leonardo just doesn't seem like someone.
He's
that
kind of
could be-
cool. He seemed like he's a former nerd turned cool guy.
But
Well,
I
he
can
ain't
think,
with all that.
all right, but
you know?
but you know what?
He's-
Let's stay that level now. All right, I can think of a gang of ugly dudes that. Tell me,
I'll
Gary,
tell
tell
you.
me, Gary Busey don't get one allegation.
Gary Busey can't even brush his teeth. What are you talking about?
Now,
It's-
the
come
number
on.
one, Gary Busey has 27 allegations, but they all know he too broke to deal with that shit. So what's
And
the
now, I'm gonna backtrack.
Does he really?
I'm not saying these dudes. I'm not saying like an allegation in terms of like, yo, he's straight up
I mean-
raping. No, I'm saying like just doing something sleasy and grimy. And,
Dustin
like,
Hoffman.
and cheesy.
No, hey, I mean,
Dustin Hoffman's not like
Well,
he's not like epitome of like male
Hold on,
like.
they got Dustin Hoffman too.
He was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It was like 30 years before or something.
Something
like
for
that.
grabbing somebody's ass. I think. I don't think he actually like.
Hey, it was Tootsie, man.
Yeah. No,
That's true.
It's always the people you never expect. Just like in politics, usually the most gung-ho, best people politicians, they always tend to have this one problem, and it's in the middle of their legs.
Okay.
Every time. Like, I'm waiting for Bernie Sanders to drop the dick pic.
All right, next person that I'm surprised hasn't come across.
Let's hear it.
Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna take a step back before I announce this person. No one in the hip hop community has been announced in this whole Me Too situation.
What are you talking about?
Well,
hold on.
oh, that's not true.
Check this out. Hold on.
Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons. Yeah, they got Russell.
His
pretty-
yoga
No,
place,
Russell
his
Simmons-
yoga place
Hey,
is
how about
closed
this?
down and everything.
Russell Simmons closed all his shit, sold everything, and moved to another country. That's how fucking serious it is, homie.
Yeah, man.
He's in Bali
That
somewhere.
Tantris
I'm
yoga
good.
place
No,
is closed.
no
let me
extradition.
reword it then.
Hold on. Did you guys hear this? Listen, Thomas, say this again. The place across the street from the office, the Tantric Yoga place, is owned by Russell Simmons.
It's completely empty now. Completely.
And what did he say? He sent out a letter to all of his employees.
Oh yeah, he had a staff
What,
meeting.
you thought
and
I
he,
was,
and
wait, you
with-
thought I was joking?
No,
No, this
dude,
is real.
With
I
all
know,
it, with
I know
all
it's
it,
real.
with all the Me Too stuff going on, he preemptively called a staff meeting and had all his employees around. He was like, "Okay, we all see what's happening in the media. Everybody's getting called out for all this stuff that happened a long time ago, and I'm just saying, guys, it's a possibility that I might be the target of some allegations here very soon." And then after that, he was the target of some allegations.
Yeah, he pulled a Roman Polanski.
And then, after that, more and more people kept coming out, and he's getting sued out the wazoo, and he just ended up closing shop. You know that place right across the street?
Yeah. Well, next to like Boa, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, during the rap era, he had an angel dust problem for about 10, 15 years.
Really?
Yeah, but so did, like,
PCP's a
fucking-
hell of a drug.
Aaron Sorkin smoked crack
didn't-
all through right in the West Wing.
What?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know this?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Sorkin was a huge crack cocaine addict.
He was a crackhead?
Yeah, while he was writing for the West
Do you
Wing.
think he cooked his own crack, or do you think he bought it?
Probably a little of both. But no, he got like he went
I
into-
always wonder about that. Like, why don't crackheads? Like they could
They don't
make,
wanna
they could
put the
just make
work
all.
in, I guess.
You think?
You
Yeah,
know
that's
why?
probably.
'Cause
They'll give him something to
well, I
do.
guess if you're rich, if you're rich,
If you're truly passionate about smoking crack, you'll cook it yourself.
I figure
you will.
if you're rich and a crackhead, because you can afford to buy the coke to then do it and risk fucking it up.
Man, if I
Right.
was rich, I ain't
but
cooking no crack.
If you're a crack purist,
but if you're a crackhead, you're probably not so economically big that you can pay that much money for drugs, then risk fucking it up.
Right.
You
I don't
what I'm
know.
saying?
Right.
You fuck up
Aaron
a bundle.
Sorkin smoked crack and wrote
Ooh,
one of the
you
best
smoke?
shows on TV for 10 fucking years.
Because then you're going to still try to smoke it after you fuck it up.
Can I just go back for 1 second?
It's true.
With Russell Simmons, I didn't really consider him like a rap artist. I kind of think of him more like in the Hollywood scene because he's more behind the scenes.
Well, he
you know what I mean?
started hip hop.
Yeah, man, he's a godfather.
No. So when I said, I kind of meant more like I'm surprised there isn't more like hip hop artists that we know about right now that have been more allocated.
But rock and roll artists. Rock and roll
them
artists.
too. Like I haven't heard many of those people come out.
Nobody
Right?
other than like Jared Leto has been accused of anything.
Oh, really? They got him too?
They got Jared Leto.
I like
For
him.
what?
I know, right? Yeah.
Having underage girls on his tour bus.
Hold on, but anything else after that? He just be a good guy.
I mean, it was a bunch of different people. So, I mean,
No.
But
you
he-
don't get too
I
many
mean,
others, you know,
it-
Charlamagne.
he
It's
was
just
one
in
of-
Hollywood though, but like you know what I mean. But like,
Somebody's here and there,
that's the
Charlamagne got a
only
little
music
trouble.
person other than Russell Simmons I can think of.
but what I'm trying to think of is, but isn't that kind of odd too? Because these rock and roll guys are all over women.
Exactly.
All the time.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's so mind-boggling. I mean, it's the same thing with hip hop. It's just like that's the community, and like you like that's. I mean, people go in there knowing what to expect. I think.
And I'm not trying to say that these artists would be doing anything like very like
I think it's
illegal to them. I'm just
I
saying
think
that, like,
it's because
sleazy.
the-
You know, like you would think you hear more sleazy stories like I've heard about these Hollywood ones, and the music thing. No.
Well, I
you hear
think,
nothing.
you know what is, there's statistical reasons why 60% of Caucasian women voted for Donald Trump, and most people that love rock and roll are of the Caucasian nature. Therefore, I hear a lot of Caucasian women, like when these Me Too things come up, they be like, man, that bitch was a hoe. they be saying this about white women, like, oh, bitch, whatever, you was sucking. I hear white women say this about other white women. Like,
I think when it comes to music, it's more of like
you know what-
you're a fan going into it, and you start, I don't know, sucking 50 Cent's dick. Like you're not like that's
You're not-
something
you're
you
not
were
that
planning.
bad.
You're planning for it. It's not something that you feel taken advantage for. Like
That is a good point.
yeah, because I mean,
There's
got
a certain-
Tupac kind of got me.
I mean,
too
think of
back
Harvey
in the day.
Weinstein. Nobody wants to suck Harvey Weinstein's dick.
Hold on, Carl. Tupac got to you.
I said he kind of got me too'd back in the day. Because all he did was really get his dick sucked and slap the girl's butt, and then his friends came in and kind of stole her to the room and raped her, basically. And he left and let it happen. And that's what Tupac went to jail for.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of
The way
your
That's
Me
the
Too.
first time he went to jail.
Yeah, and that's what just happened to Charlamagne the God. He got these young girls drunk that he was friends with the family with on some R. Kelly shit. They took him to the party, and for some reason he got these young girls drunk, and then some scumbags at the party took her, violated the girls, and whatnot, and this and that. And when she said when she woke up he was over, the nigga's probably picking up your fucking raped body, bitch. He didn't rape you because there's no jeans on him, but he was responsible for it indirectly. So there's a Me Too aspect to that where the girl, 30 years later now, the girl back in the day, she got it off early on Pac because Pac was such a big hated figure at the time. But if Pac was probably more loved back in the 90s, it might have slipped more under the bread, you know, under the road and shit and whatnot, and got to be a 20 years later situation.
I mean, I definitely feel like that was more of a targeted situation. Like definitely
Mike Tyson got me too and shit. The bitch comes up to the hotel room.
I think the
Isn't that
Tupac
Robin
stuff.
Givens?
The Tupac stuff is an
he got-
anomaly.
No, he got ass fucked with Robin Givens. She married him, and her mama turned that poor man inside out with Don King. Don King,
What do
you
you
are
mean?
the devil, motherfucker.
What do you turn him inside out?
Oh, because basically, Mike Tyson story. Basically, Mike Tyson was young, dumb. Customato was his protector and died, and everything fell apart after that. Just like Kanye after his mom died. And basically, Don King got hands on him, and he used to have Mike write blank checks to him just to take and do whatever he wanted. And then Robin Givens got him and used to tell him he was crazy and this, that, and the third, and he was manic depressive. No, manic depressive mean you happy some days and sad some days. But anyway, Mike Tyson was real sensitive. He was like a retarded sensitive kid, but he was a sweetheart. And Robin Givens and her mother, these cougar bitches, they ate him alive, then they accused him of all this stuff, and then they played him and round his money out just with Don King, taking blank checks, and that's why Mike Tyson went broke.
I mean, Mike Tyson's
that
also
stuff.
a complete savage. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, you can't really.
Because, because Mike Tyson was an adopted kid saved from some shit fuck family. Because number one, if you're
I mean,
adopted
he's
by
had a
an
rough
old,
life. Don't get me wrong.
if you're
But
adopted by an old white guy in New York, there's where the fuck do you get this
He
super
grew
kid
up
from? What
very
was
quickly.
his parents? You get what I'm saying? What kind of chemicals
have you
are
seen
running through this kid's body?
videos of Mike Tyson when he was 15?
No.
He's the biggest dude in this room.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he grew up very quickly because he didn't have anything. He had to support himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like a street kid, I think, for a while. Mike Tyson is like, he's one of them. He's a lost boy.
He's like that 12-year-old that's on that World Series Little League team that's like 6'2", 225.
Yeah.
That's what Mike Tyson was like when he was 15.
And I mean, and most people that are criminals and outcasts and crazy types like that are very elementary in the mind. Your school shooters, all these crazy people we see in the society, we're like, why did you do that? These are usually elementary minded people that are actually very sensitive, sweet people. But due to that sensitivity, these motherfuckers hit the handle hard. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why you get this crazy, because they've never had a chance to mature into the adulthood of the acceptance of maybe what happened to them, what's going to happen to them, what the world affects them, how they can affect their universe, so forth and so on. You know, confused by spiritualism and maybe God hates me and all these other things. And that's a childish perspective. As you grow and you get older, you realize that you're more of a God in this universe than you are as a youth. You got more power than you have. There's more control you have. There's ways to separate yourself from dangers and putting yourself in better situations and recover, like people going to rehab and getting better. And that's part of the growth, and I think that just doesn't happen a lot with people that have that young, just out of control attitude. And criminals. That's why you have criminals and crazy fucks. They just never really got to mature and understand what it's like to live in the economic slave society in which we live.
Mike Tyson.
The more we know.
That'll do it for Carl's rant number 3 of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thomas, give us a little backstory about, where you're from and what got you out here in Hollywood, man.
Well, from Southern Indiana, there's not a whole lot of art or creativity or anything really art related going on down there. There's not a whole lot of support for the arts. Went to school in Indiana, graduated with an arts management degree. So what am I gonna? I'm not gonna stay in Indiana where I could curate a local museum for $25,000 a year or something, or no. It was either one coast or the other, and I chose the one with the better weather.
Yes,
that's what got me out here.
Nice. Were you near like Purdue? My sister went to Purdue, West Lafayette.
I was in. Well, I've been to Purdue many times. I went to IU, so there's a bit of a rivalry there.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody knows everybody. It's Indiana. It's not a big place. I knew tons of people that were at Purdue, just like I knew tons of people that were at Ball State or IU, USI. Butler's right there too. Yeah. A lot of schools.
And you went for museum curation?
Notre Dame. What?
Went for museum curation?
No, arts management. Essentially, it's just like the business side of art. Essentially.
Okay, because I had a friend I went to college with, and she goes to New York, and that's what she does. She went to school for like art stuff, some kind of thing like that. And that's what she was going after, was like trying to be a curator of like nice museums, and like you want to get like a big time. Like I guess being a curator of LACMA is like a big political artsy kind of. You get your hands on a lot of shit, kind of shit or something.
Museum of Modern Art.
Whatever the kids are calling it.
Well, MoMA, the guy from MoMA, the creative or the curator, just accepted a job at LACMA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So those guys make a ton of money. That's like as high as you can get, and they've been doing it for decades.
Is that kind of like the dream for your degree?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you could take it in so many different directions. The direction I've taken it is producing. Starting out smaller with commercials and music videos, and just learning as you go. I didn't go to film school, so when I came out here, I just kind of had to start figuring out how everything worked. But I mean, museum curation is one way you can take it, but I'm not a gallerist.
How are you using your degree in reference to the film industry, like from that? Because since you have like a training in this art management thing, how do you spin that into the film industry where people like us who don't know about it could maybe use that as a valuable thing?
Well, first of all, my emphasis when I was actually studying in school was music, and because I was some cocky little shit and I felt like I knew everything about film already. So I was like, I'll see what music, if that interests me, and it didn't. So essentially, I studied music in school, and then I came out here and started doing something completely different. Because I love film, I love filmmaking, storytelling. You can really influence people's opinions with a good film. And there's a certain amount of power there that's very attractive. And the creative aspect is something that I think everybody needs to stay happy and healthy, and just to be able to get out of bed in the morning. If you're not fulfilled and you don't feel like you're creating anything that matters, then
it kind of sucks.
Yeah, sucks a lot.
Yeah.
So with an arts management degree, it's essentially just business. It's just a business degree. I mean, it's a management degree from a school that has a management school, like a top 5 business school.
So basically, you probably could work at like kind of schools and colleges and elementary schools. Is probably like an arts kind of situation, like maybe running their art program or something like that.
Well, what a lot of people do is they'll take it and they'll actually go into managing artists and working at perhaps a talent agency. A lot of it is, just interpersonal, brand building and marketing and, how just getting your art out there. Like, if you're a painter, like this kind of degree would be very beneficial for you to, poke your head around in, because it will teach you how to get your art seen and how to get that art in a gallery and get it sold.
Ooh, so were there actual classes that said, hey, this is how you get your shit in an art gallery, homie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So there's actually a technique to that. It's not like you just happen to meet some dude who's like, I like peas and wine.
You have to be you have to be making art that is interesting to somebody. Like, and you have to, a lot of it is just, one, you got to identify the gallery that fits your style. You got to figure out who wants this stuff that you're making, whatever it may be. You're not going to walk into a gallery and see, a Mr. Brainwash display right next to like an 18th century impressionist work of, fucking somebody of Monet or somebody like that. Like, every gallery has a specific audience and they're catering to a specific style. Like the Hamilton Selway down on Melrose, they're all like 90s modern contemporary, like Keith Haring, Basquiat kind of style stuff. So and they've also got the Mr. Brainwash stuff and Banksy kind of street art, and that's the style. And if you're making that kind of art, you're going to want to identify galleries that are distributing that kind of art. You're going to want to go and meet gallerists. You have to be.
What's a gallerist? What's a gallerist?
A gallerist is just somebody that runs a gallery, and they'll curate it like a museum curator would curate their collection.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things that you cannot learn in a classroom, and that same thing goes for producing. Like, you have to be a social person, and you have to be going around meeting people, and you have to be able to. I mean, that's why Andy Warhol and Basquiat were so prominent in the New York party scene in the 70s and 80s, because nobody's going to know who the fuck you are in 1975 without social media or without the internet, unless you're going around with Andy Warhol and shaking everybody that meets Andy Warhol's hand. Or
it's networking, man.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Exactly. Nobody's going to care about buying your art unless it really turns them on and it really speaks to them, or unless there's a big personal brand attached to it, and they're like, oh, I'm going to invest in this guy because I think he's going somewhere, and hopefully this, whatever it is going to appreciate over time.
Did they kind of teach you guys how to kind of scout for maybe new artists or artwork? It's like, what's a good thing to look for in an artist? Like, I want an artist that maybe he's doing something totally different, or do you look for artists that's the same? Is there anything like that?
Kind of, yeah. There's a couple of courses that I know of that are aimed towards future sight of getting on top of trends and stuff like that. But I mean, dude, like, just get on Twitter and pay attention to what people are talking to. Like, you don't need to pay $500 for some credit hours to tell you to get on Twitter. And,
I mean,
like, you just have to be present in society.
I've noticed,
to know where it's going.
Because like a lot of famous people, like I'd say a good half of the famous people, successful people out there we know, most of them are not trained classically in what they do. They either practice it themselves or they did it themselves naturally, and then the other half is like the trained. It's like the coach versus the player coaching with it sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Well,
I've seen that.
Now there's, speaking of future sight and where art's going and stuff like that, like, there's people that are literally taking screenshots of Instagram posts and putting them up on gallery walls, and then there's people that are painting memes. Like, they'll find a meme that they like and they'll paint it. Or that's cute. Or there's these girls that live in LA. They're called the Kaplan Twins, and they literally just take pictures of famous people and they'll just paint them. Like, exactly how it is, and it'll just be what it is. I mean, that's what it is. That's what people want to hang up on their walls, because either they think it's funny because they think it's a funny meme, or it's a reference to something that happened in society that's fucking hilarious, like the Kim Kardashian sex tape is like the focus of one of their paintings, or the Paris Hilton sex tape is one of the focuses of their, or it could be just something that's like a joke, like the weekly joke, like whatever, you know how they used to have Best Week Ever on VH1?
Yeah.
Like whatever the culmination at the end of that show, there's probably somebody out there in the world that's creating some sort of painting based around that. And so they're going to exploit that tiny market and see if anybody buys that shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, kids, listen up once again on Skitbags Radio. The Ice-T, Mr. Thomas is his name. He's taught you another life lesson about art and what it takes to get on in the entertainment world. Art is subjective. So what? Somebody else doesn't like exactly what you do. There's 300 million people in America, and somewhere there's a million motherfuckers that like your weird shit. So you go for it, you push it,
Absolutely
you find
true.
your niche, and that's the game.
What movies have you seen that you enjoy about the art world?
One of my favorite subgenres of all time is the art heist movie.
Yeah.
I could watch an art heist movie after an art heist movie after an art heist movie.
So Thomas Crown
Always
Affair?
fantasized about stealing $300 million works of art
Yes.
and just hanging them up on my wall.
Yes, with like a French woman in a trench coat.
Oh yeah, like Entrapment with
Yes.
Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, where he just like whisks her off to his like Scottish castle, and he's got like all these stolen paintings on the
You
wall.
know Sean Connery's going to get Me Too'd by Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Sean Connery's too damn old. I
Yeah,
don't think
Thomas Crown Affair. That's the one when fucking
Oh, yeah.
Pierce Brosnan has like that mini plane.
you know
that
they're
driving
remaking
around.
that with Michael B. Jordan.
What is this?
That should be good.
What did they reveal?
Thomas Crown Affair. Well, actually, the first one was Steve McQueen in the 1960s or
Yeah.
70s, I forget. And then they remade it with Pierce Brosnan. It was just as good. Fucking great movie.
Yeah.
And now I think they're going to remake it again with Michael B. Jordan. That's what I've been seeing
What about the,
seeing about town.
Nice.
You like the Oceans 2, Oceans 12?
Well,
It's all
yeah,
art
those
heist.
movies are sick.
Is this one with the chicks?
No, that's the newest.
Ocean's
Hold on,
11
this is
and
Ocean-
Ocean's
I thought
12. Well,
Wasn't
12
this
was
Ocean's
12
13.
13
Ocean's,
is
what the
the
fuck
one
was
with
this?
the chick.
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8. Ocean's 12 was booty. Ocean's 13 was better. And then Ocean's 8 just came out.
How was that?
Oh, so 8
I
is
never
the
saw
one
it.
with the women.
I saw it. It was all right.
I heard it was okay, yeah. But
It
I
wasn't
haven't, like,
terrible,
put any
but it
time
wasn't
aside
like
to-
amazing.
Here's
That was
the
when my
question.
movie pass was tweaking, so I
Here's
couldn't
the
go see
question.
it.
Could you have waited for it to come out on tape?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
only
it's on
because
tape. It's on tape.
it's the story and the concept where like I feel like they're just kind of doing one of those reboot sequels, and it's not because it's girls, like it's not that formula wouldn't work, but it's now they're just like taking this concept. It's like if they did a Hangover 4, 5, and 6. You know what I mean? Like, come on, how many more of these we need?
Was it like
I'm
this
telling you.
female
It's like we've all been
Ghostbusters?
I'll tell you
hungover.
where- I'll tell you
I was
where fuck-
hungover yesterday. It was nothing like those movies.
I'll tell you what. How the Hangover fucked up. What they should have done, they should have made a sequel, but they should have made it like Memento, where we saw the whole movie backwards. You know what I mean? Like that's how
It's
they
like
should have
them
fucking done it.
figuring out what the fuck happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That would've been cool.
Yeah, it's like being.
It's like Ed Helms wakes up with a bunch of tattoos,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah, exactly. And we see like the scenes backwards, so it's like a comedy version of Memento. That's what they should have fucking done. And I don't see why. You know, but then they went left instead of going right. And, you know, that's my fucking word of wisdom today.
Word.
mini pitch.
What are you looking forward to coming down the pipeline and movies coming out, and TV shows
Coming out of my pipeline. Movies coming out? What is coming out? Well, I need to see Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to. There's a lot of things that I haven't seen that are out right now. Need to see Black Klansman. What else? I watched Rampage last night. It was not good.
Wait. Is that the one with The Rock and about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video
it's fucked
game?
up.
Yeah.
Which wait. So have you seen Skyscraper?
Definitely could. No,
Because I was
probably
going to
won't.
say on a scale of 1 to Skyscraper, how was
was
Rampage?
Skyscraper?
Well, Rampage actually was not as bad as I was expecting it to be. You know, it's based off of a video game, and it's all. I mean, it's fucking Rampage.
Yeah.
It, like
So are
the
there
fact
actual-
that
Not
they
too
were
much
able,
plot there.
The fact that they were able to make that into like a narrative is impressive. But it was
pause for a
just it
second?
wasn't quite there.
I pause for a second. I'm not a big fan of these movies where like the main character's best friend is a fucking animal. I hate that shit. I hate those movies. I'm like, it's like motherfucker.
Especially
I'm
'cause-
sorry. I'm sorry. I get it.
What?
I get that. I get there's a relationship in the real world. But I hate seeing that shit on screen.
You don't like the Jungle Book?
Yeah.
No,
I think
That's not. That's different.
I think it's different. With this Rampage thing,
different.
they
I know, I'm
they
just
Michael
kidding.
Bay'd this fucking shit because
Yeah,
the
where,
Rampage
like, The
video
Rock is the
game.
only friend
Turner and
that's-
Hooch.
Yeah, because the Rampage
All right,
video
but
game
that's
was just
Tom
about
Hanks
the
being
monsters.
silly.
Yeah.
Big silly or
Turner
silly?
Hooch was classic.
Silly.
Turner Hooch
Silly.
was the shit. But Rampage was the game was about the monsters beating up the building. You had to destroy the
Yeah,
building.
The Rock wasn't even in that shit.
That was it.
But, no, but,
Yeah.
but this
But
movie
the point
version,
is, there were no human friends.
Exactly. They
but in
killed.
the
They
movie
killed all the
version,
humans.
in the movie version, like The Rock's best friend is like the ape that gets big.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Michael
So, like,
Bay'd it. They
he's
Michael
like,
Bay'd
no.
it.
And keep in mind that
Michael
big ape
Bay.
still eats people in the movie, and
Nice.
The Rock is
That
still friends
is-
with him.
Nice,
Awesome.
nice.
Dude, I saw a scene in the movie where they just
Fan of that.
I swear to God, they overlooked an entire catastrophe. The alligator joint was in the fucking river, and it knocked over.
You barely see the alligator the whole movie, and then it pops up in Chicago.
Yeah, it knocks over an entire cruise ship, like 3-decker people, and they never even acknowledge it. Like,
Wait,
what
what
like,
is this again?
It's in Rampage of the movie.
It's like they
one,
didn't have enough time for the alligator to be in the movie.
So they're like, real quick, we'll just squeeze him in the
Okay,
end.
so I'm talking
Seriously.
but like, there's like an ending scene, like the climax, and like it's The Rock. He's trying to save every life possible, right?
Right, yeah.
Yo, he about to fucking save a bill, just save his little boy, right?
Yeah.
But in one scene, there's the alligators going through the river, and it knocks over an entire like cruise ferry ship. Triple decker with people. It knocks it over. Them guys are dead. They're dying. No one survives that shit.
acknowledge-
Okay,
Half the city
and
is
they didn't
destroyed.
acknowledge it. They're like, all right, whatever. Back to saving this kid.
So wait, what was the reason why what was the reason why the animals were big? That I guess.
Oh no, alien ship
It
in
was
the sky.
like it was an experiment by this company called CRISPR in the movie, and they had like their space station where they were running these experiments, and like essentially it was called Project Rampage, and they ended up making one of their like test rats fucking really big, and they were like, oh great, it's working. And then the rat destroys the station and all the shit crashes down to earth, and the monkey finds it, the alligator finds it, and a wolf finds it.
Shit goes crazy.
So are animals still continually finding it even as the movie is?
That's
over?
a good
no,
question,
no.
because they don't address in the movie when the animals get into contact with it. They don't show it. They don't.
They showed they showed landing, and then like the
And then the Rock picks it up, but
but then they see what happens after that.
yeah. And how the fuck did the alligator get it?
Yeah, man. It was one of those movies that like after 5 minutes they have to interject some kind of comedy. They're like, all right, hold on, need something in here.
That's where the animal best friend comes in.
Well,
he cried.
That's the Rock. The Rock is the new Brendan Fraser.
But the Rock has been some better shit.
The
he
new-
is. He is the,
that's-
you know the guy that does the
I'm
you know,
gonna
the
dog
money?
on The
He's
Rock
new
like
money
that.
dude.
I'm
He's-
not sure if
he
that's
is-
a compliment.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, because you know he's
I
still,
love Brendan, but come on.
I love Brendan too.
No, but I'm just saying, you put a little slave history in Brendan, he's going to be about 6'4", 270. That's all I'm
He's
saying.
gonna be as jacked as The Rock. Like,
you know
come
what?
on, man. Like,
Yeah.
fucking
That's all.
in the gym
The
by
Rock-
4 in the morning.
Isn't The Rock Samoan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's naturally
Rock
just
is
a
way-
large person.
The Rock's way better in Ballers too. He's a much different kind of actor.
Ballers is
But
good.
once I say, because
He's
he's got that street cool to him. You know, he got that hood. in
He's
him, you know what I'm
perfected
saying?
his craft on Ballers.
Yeah,
for sure.
But what?
The Rock is just the shit, man. Rock's killing the game.
I mean, he is, but you know, he's kind of cliche to a certain extent. It's what you're.
Shut up, Carl.
Dude,
we love you, The Rock. Come on the show.
No, Rock,
Yeah,
I love
The
your
Rock
movies.
is-
I think your movie's a great dog, but they, they kind of got you pegged right now, like you smoker. You just don't want to play smoker.
Bro, he's like
300 pounds. What else are you gonna put him in right now?
I mean, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Actually, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Brendan Fraser had a kid. Like, if you mushed them together because he got the Arnold, still had the funny aspect.
where's Brendan Fraser coming from? Like, who?
Yeah,
I haven't even thought of Brendan Fraser in 5
is he
years.
the one from The Mummy?
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of movies that are kind of like these action movies where he's still kind of silly. He does a lot of other. He's done a lot of shitty ones
but
too.
The
like
Rock
that.
don't be that silly in the movies.
I mean, he's a clown in everything
he
I
is
see.
in
He's
the
a clown
in the
everything I
rundown
see.
or something,
And the
but
one with
no.
I mean,
Hard.
he's always got
Hard.
little
Clown.
the Jumanji movie, and then there's Central Intelligence, and then he's always got some
But
comedic
even
relief.
though he's
He like
funny,
Terry Crews and shit. Like
but no. But he's funny without being goofy. I think he tries to be.
he's still good. He's great. He's rich. He's like Hulk Hogan.
His
who had
timing's
that
all right.
transition,
I
you
guess
know?
so.
I mean, there are
if
worse-
that's your analogy, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Upcoming movies and TV shows I'm looking forward to. Have you seen anything about this TV show called Manifest on ABC? It's about like an
I've seen the billboards. That's about it.
it's about a flight that takes off, and they land right. And when they land, it's like this whole fucking like news report and shit for them. They're like, what the hell happened? Because they had turbulence on the flight, right? And when they land, they're like, "What the hell happened?" And then they're like, "Shit, you guys are okay?" We're like, "Yeah, we had some turbulence." They're like, "No, y'all have been gone for 4 years."
Oh, shit.
Like,
some
what?
Bermuda Triangle shit. I thought that was going to happen with that plane they lost over Taiwan like a year or two ago. I thought it was going to show up.
It's going to pop up
right?
in like 2023.
Yeah.
Like they're going to land.
Yeah. So that's what the movie's about, and they're back on their life, but they're like, "What has happened in like 5 years?" Because shit has been this, and then they're trying to figure out where they were. Yeah. It's kind of like a little bit of Lost.
You know, there's stuff that's been reported that in real life like that.
I definitely believe that shit could happen, and has.
There's like an hour-long special on the History Channel about this kind of stuff.
Devin is a sailor, and he knows sailor stories. Devin, do you have any
Devin,
stories
tell
about
us.
Bermuda Triangle, Dragon's Triangle stories?
Or can you even tell us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, they actually scientists have just tried to figure out a couple of excuses for the Bermuda Triangle. There's some magnetic shit going under the crust of the plates of the Earth there, so that's why it fucks up like ships and planes, compasses, and navigation stuff. Not so much anymore, but back when like we were still using like a magnetic compass,
when it
and
was
like
literally like a piece of metal floating in water,
like a World War II airplane number 4 or some shit like that, you know. And ships as well, and a lot of like, you know, ships where they were like Spanish galleons and stuff. But one of the sudden sinkings of large vessels is because they discovered that there's these giant like methane pockets underneath the silt on the bottom of the seafloor, and every so often like this decomposing organic material will erupt in like almost like a methane volcano. So instead of like lava, just like gas, like it would be building up gas underneath the crust, building, and then the pressure would just go and it'll be like a giant fart. And what happens is when bubbles go up through water, you don't have the buoyancy. So if that happens, if there's a bunch of bubbles going up under a ship, the ship will sink because it loses the force of buoyancy holding it up above the water.
And then the water
because it's air there
on top of it.
So they just it usually capsizes. It doesn't like go drop right down, but it capsizes a little bit, brings it down, and then it floods, and then it's too late. So that has happened a lot. Also, crazy ass fucking storms coming off the Cape of the Curve of Africa right there. Like the way the Gulf Stream is, it takes warm water into cold air, and then like it has to do a lot with the spinning of the Earth too. That's right by the equator, and the way the winds move. It's just a weird fucking spot. Another weird spot is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's a very similar spot to the Bermuda Triangle, which is like, I will cross as a sailor. I feel comfortable crossing any ocean reasonably, not like the fucking Baltic in winter or some crazy shit, but like I'll go sail around the middle of the world pretty comfortably anywhere, except the Indian Ocean terrifies me. I'm like, that's the one place I don't want. I'm not even terrified of the pirates. I'm terrified of nature.
Is that the Dragon's Triangle or whatever they call it? Because isn't there like an Asian Bermuda Triangle or something?
Yeah, I think that's in like South Pacific or something, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the Dragon.
Well, I do have an answer of why. The actual answer is there's 2 alien bases in both those spots. Just to let you know.
Dude, I believe it.
Yeah, that's what the
you've
is.
seen what's that?
That's all. And that's probably what that movie's going to be about. They went to the aliens.
Well, another movie I was hyped about.
That Ed Harris movie where it comes up out of the...
Oh God, what is the name of it? Abyss.
The Abyss, yes.
I was thinking Sphere for a second, because Sphere was an awesome movie too. But
I was looking for it also for Spawn to come out.
Spawn's going to be dope.
Who's
I got faith in Jason Blum.
No, I know Jamie Foxx. It's the fucking Tom Hardy dude, the guy who played Bane in Dark Knight.
Tom Hardy's going to be Spawn?
Yeah. No, you're thinking Venom.
He's going to be Venom.
My God, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, I fucked that one up.
Yeah, right. Venom. Hey, let's apologize to Jamie Foxx like The Rock. We dissing everybody.
No, but Jamie Foxx ain't that shit either.
I think he is the new Spawn. I think he's the new Spawn.
That kind of sounds right.
So Jamie Foxx is the new Spawn?
Yeah,
Spawn.
Because they cut out, Michael Jai White. They cut out the homie. And we know Michael Jai White. Yo, shout out to Michael Jai White. We met him at Russell Peters' crib on July 4th, man. Holla at you, boy, man. We want you to come back do Spawn, dog.
I rather when they do this for the guy. When they do this for like superhero characters and shit, they should do it with people that don't need the fame. Like the character already is gonna bring whoever is in that real fame. True. You should bring someone that we recognize. I'm not saying
that's why they did Jamie Foxx.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying get someone out of the fucking woodwork we've never even seen before. Get someone that we've seen like in the background. Some dude that's on the low, and then bring him into the light rather than like, yo, Jamie Foxx. Like,
you know who they should have pulled out?
Wesley. He had his chance.
They should have pulled Wesley Snipes
with Miami Vice.
Wesley Snipes would have been an ill spot. Because it could be like Blade almost again.
Yo, dude, like, if you ask me, like, okay, really, Jamie Foxx needs to resurrect his career. He'll get something else that'll be dope. Motherfucker, this shit might hurt his shit if he fuck up. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't help Michael Jai White too much.
Yo, hold on.
But it helped John Leguizamo.
Yeah,
John Leguizamo was amazing.
And you haven't seen Black Dynamite? What the fuck you talking about? Michael Jai White came back.
Oh, well, Black Dynamite shit, but nobody else knows about Black Dynamite but like me, you, and Aaron.
I've seen Black Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's seen Black Dynamite.
And Ice-T, but that's only because he has that street name. Of course he knows about Black Dynamite.
Yo, the best line was like, I'm gonna
That's
stop.
a classic.
The best line, he comes in,
Yeah.
he was like, I'm gonna stop all y'all from selling drugs to the community. And he goes, but Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
Exactly. Michael Jai White.
Oh.
Well, I think unless you guys want to chop it up with anything else, you got anything else off your chest, Thomas?
Oh, I know I got something to talk about. Let's talk about this Omarosa stuff and how Omarosa is the spook
we were
who
just
sat
talking
by
about
the
that,
door.
remember?
He's going right. Sneaky motherfucker.
With recording on your cell phone, that was pulling an Omarosa.
Oh, yeah.
That's how she did it.
Oh, yeah?
She went in there with her cell phone.
Well,
Really?
Oh, that's simple. I thought she used like a spy. They said she used like a spy pen.
She was using
it.
it.
Doesn't have like it doesn't give out anything, so they could bring it. Because I figured they check everything and they check your phones and all that. Don't they?
I read a report that said she just flipped on her iPhone recording and she just like had it in her breast pocket.
Wow, just that simple.
And she was
overnight.
just
Dang.
recorded everything.
See, that just shows how much they let women just cruise.
Is it
through
video
shit.
recording or just?
No,
It's
I
just
think
audio, yeah.
Yeah, she probably used the free app and whatnot that we be getting it to record stuff. There's the free joint.
She went on the App
She was,
Store right
she was
before
like-
she got the job.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
in theory, the spook who sat by the door, that's an old story about a guy that he was working as an FBI agent. He got trained, black guy, of course, and whatnot. He got trained. He learned everything from all the FBI guys, got it all down, and then he quit. And he went back to the hood and he taught everybody everything he learned from the FBI so like African Americans start the revolution to save themselves from against America who was trying to set them up. And that's who the spook just sat by the door is. It's basically a double agent spy.
For the blacks.
Yeah, for the body. He went in, he learned the man's whole shit, and he came back and said, yo, y'all, this how we do it. Yo, this is what's going on, people. Here, this is what they doing, yo.
He'd be talking like proper the entire time. He'd be like, yes, sir.
And that's
yes,
what,
of
you know,
course.
Omarosa is kind of doing right now.
Every day,
But
yes,
we don't know
I will
how
do this.
genuine it is.
You
'cause
think
she-
Omarosa's like one of the? Have you seen the video of the? He's like a beat reporter, and he's like an anchor man, and on location, and he's a black guy, and like a fly flies into his mouth, and and he's like talking like this, like really proper. Then the fly flies in his mouth, and he's like, "Motherfucker!" What? And he's,
Really? No,
yeah,
I've seen
you've
that.
never seen this video? Oh my god, it's so funny. He's like complaining about how hot it is and shit. It's hot as fuck out here, mother. And then the cameras start rolling and he starts doing the report and he's like
the news
completely
reporter
different.
dude?
And then the fly goes in his mouth and he goes back into the way he was talking
He was
before.
like super hood. He goes from like being like
Yeah,
really sensible
yeah,
to super.
yeah.
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah,
I gotta see it.
it's pretty funny.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I guess we wrap up. We already did our social media earlier. Skitbags Radio, the
Yo,
Fantastic Four.
Yo, this was a fantastic showing. I loved this episode. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
minimal planning.
I see your presence as
Did it,
always.
man?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I'll be
the
back.
more you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the more we all know.
Yes, that's right.
Yo, man. But yo, anything coming up?
No, of course, we're working on your Red Shirt show, which
Yeah,
is
shit.
a great
Be
show
fire.
idea. Gorilla
Coming up.
Flicks, Skitbags, Collabo, and whatnot. Of course, you know, it's always the Ding Dong Show every Monday night at 10:30 going down. We got on August 22nd, this upcoming week at the Universal Bar and Grill, we got the GT Comedy Jam, and that's every couple Tuesdays, so go to gtcomedyjam.com and
Word.
Skitbags Radio.
Word.
All right, yo, close us out.
Heck yeah. Only want to thank once again for Mr. Thomas coming through. He held it down. Big Devin and Dude, he must have had to pee or go take a number deuce right quick. But welcome to Skitbags Radio. Wheels
He's
and
gone.
Deal
Devin
by the
left-
life of Neil the Great.
Devin
Neil
left
Chisholm.
15 minutes ago.
Skitbags Radio. We out of here, baby. Have a good one.